What is going on, everyone? This is your boy ThumbBrother2, bringing you guys another team builder here for the LDL, the Lonely Draft League. I'm your coach of the Salt Lake City Swamperts, and we are in Week 7 here. Now, we are going up against Steven and the Arkentuckey Aerodactyl. And this is definitely a kind of a scary match, for sure. He has a lot of interesting Pokemon that really work well together, and a lot of big threats that could really kind of just wreck house on the team. So let's quickly go over his team, his roster, and see what he could potentially bring, things that he may bring, may not bring, and stuff. So yeah, let's get to it. First up, he has Mega Blastoise, his Mega Pokemon. Huge threat. Of course, it can be physically bulky, especially bulky, but with that, with its ability powering up all those kind of pulse and cannon moves, like Dark Pulse, Water Pulse, all that stuff, Aura Sphere, it can really just wreck house on us, especially if he is able to, let's say, get a Dark Pulse off, live a hit on Mega Alakazam, or even Serperior, and fire back. The big thing I'm afraid of this week, for sure, on that Mega Blastoise is, what's it called, Mirror Coat. I have seen Steven run this on Mirror Coat. I always fear Mirror Coat whenever I face a Blastoise, no matter where I am. And so the fact that this Mega Blastoise could potentially have that pretty much scares me. And so I have a few plans to hopefully work around that, and hopefully that does work out for us. Next up is Xurkitree. Xurkitree is such a wonderful, powerful mon. I think rocking out the base 173 special attack set or something like that. It's something absolutely huge. Not the fastest mon on the world, but he can easily, you know, just scarf it, you know, really outspeed a lot of stuff, and getting a beast boost, powering up special attack moves, or it could be physical attacking, because you never know. It's problem. And also, Prez likes to go for the Z Rain Dance, allowing him to get the +1 speed boost and able to fire off thunders. That's something I don't want to take from a Xurkitree, even if it, especially at +1. So that's extremely scary. We got to be careful of that. Or he could even tail glow with this thing, which is even scarier. So Xurkitree is a big threat for sure. However, I don't really necessarily see him bringing it, just because we can really stop him with our Joey Galaxy or Thundurus. So there's that. But still, very scary threat, something to definitely look out for. Next up, he has Sableye. Sableye I'm not too worried about, just because we have a few really good answers for him. Yeah, the Prankster kind of sucks, but as far as that, Sableye is really just kind of outshined by its Mega Evolution. And while it can do some things and it can eat some hits up, I'm not too worried about it. The only thing I'm probably maybe worried about is knockoff from Sableye or something like that, or if it, I don't know, like Will-O-Wisp something, or paralyzes Thunder Waves more so than Will-O-Wisp. That's kind of my thoughts with that. Next up, he has, well, I'm going to kind of pair these two up together, Dragonite and Pelipper. Pelipper got a huge buff for this recent gen, being able to set up the rain with Drizzle. It can be bulky, it can be Scarfed, which I do see him bringing Scarf, because once the rain is up, both Pelipper and Dragonite can run Hurricane, giving that 100% stab move for both of his flying types, and just really wreck house, especially that Pelipper. Pelipper is a mon I personally don't like at all, but I know it's good now for a reason. And if he brings it Scarfed, hopefully we should be able to handle it accordingly. It's going to be very scary to handle it if he does bring it, but I feel with Joey Galaxy he may not, just because of that big threat, especially with the Dragonite as well. Say if we were able to bring up rocks, or even break the Dragonite's multi-scale hidden power ice, I'm pretty sure knocks it out. Stuff like that. Next up, he has Scizor, really his only big answer to the Sylveon, to our Sylveon, which you will see that we are bringing this week once we get into the team. It's his Defogger, U-Turner. It can be bulky, it can be Swords Dance, Life Orb, Scarf Banded. There's a couple things there, but I feel like we have the right mons to work around it. And I don't know. I don't know. While it could be a big threat, I feel like it could be easily handled. Next up, we have Landorus Therian. That's a scary one. Steven's actually had Landorus for quite some time. I think I had it Season 1 of LDL. But Steven's had it since then. Landorus, of course, getting access to Intimidate, so all of our physical type attackers won't be able to hit it as hard, so we definitely got to be careful about that. Being able to run Earthquake, Knock Off, U-Turn, Rock Slide, any Z-Move variant as well, and because it has that base 101 speed, I should say, it really outspeeds any of our base 100 mons. In fact, he actually just speed ties with our own Genie Therian form, or Joey Galaxy, so something really scary to look at there. Next up, he has Clefairy, which is very strange. I don't really see him bringing the Clefairy, if I'm honest with you, just because Clefairy, while it can be pretty bulky with the Eviolite and stuff and kind of do the same things that Clefable can, really can't do a whole lot more. Maybe it can get up rocks and maybe Toxic Stall, Wish Protect. I don't know. Just a very weird Pokemon for him to draft all around. I'm interested to see if he does bring it, what he does with it. But yeah, that's Clefairy. Next up is Espeon, another evolution that we are facing. Very powerful mon, very powerful, very fast. Being able to get access to both Psychic and Dazzling Gleam. Shadow Ball, of course, as well. It can Magic Bounce, so we got to be careful if he does bring it that we don't Magic Bounce the rocks onto us if we do set up rocks. So super scary. Calm Minds, of course, for Espeon as well can be very problematic, as our main answers for it are going to be on the, I think on the special side, if I'm 100% honest, if I recall what I put on this team correctly. Yeah, I think it's mainly physical, special type attackers. But yeah, there's that. Next up is Snorlax. Snorlax is super scary as it walls our Entei, it walls our Weavile with its thick fat ability, able to eat up hits, being able to set up curses, and all that stuff. Belly Drum if it wants to. This is a very scary mon for us to deal with. So hopefully with the mons that I've brought, I'll be able to quickly take it out within a couple of turns and not get hit too hard as well. But Snorlax is very scary. Yeah, that's a very bulky mon, and if he brings it, I believe we will have a lot of troubles, because if you guys remember from last week when we first faced Arthur with the Miltank and Thick Fat, we really couldn't do anything there, so hopefully I come extra prepared this week. Last but not least is Gastrodon, standard groundwater type, very powerful. Being able to be physical or special attacking, Scald, Waterfall, Earth Power, Earthquake. It can Toxic Stall, Recover. It can Haze us if we want to set up. Ice Beam, of course. Of course, has that ×4 weakness to Grass, but I feel like even with that, Miracle is the thing as well for Gastrodon, so I gotta be careful there as well, but I feel it can be really handled easily, especially with the mons that we do we are going to be bringing this week. But that's his team right there. Pokemon I'm expecting him to bring: the Mega Blastoise, the Dragonite, the Scizor, the Landorus, the Snorlax, and the Espeon, if I had to guess anything. Maybe like a Scarf Espeon or something to handle Mega Alakazam. Other things he could potentially bring: he could definitely bring that Pelipper for sure, help set up the rain for his Dragonite, being able to power up his Scald and all that stuff as well. So very scary. I pray that Pelipper doesn't come. I really pray that it doesn't come, but we'll have to see where we go from there. But let's go ahead and jump into our team right here. First up, we are going to be bringing our 3 scoops. I don't know what that was. Our 3 scoops. Our Conkeldurr, Rocket the Assault Vest again, 252 HP, 250 attack, just because it really does its job well, and I don't know what the heck happened there. I kind of froze. Strange. But kind of a standard set here. Drain Punch for general recovery, Mach Punch for any priority, Knockoff, of course, is going to hit like a freaking truck, and Ice Punch is there definitely for that Landorus, for that Dragonite if we are able to live a hit, and let's say he's not running Hurricane or something, he decides to bring a physical set. Ice Punch will be able to do the work. And also, this is one of our main handles for the frickin' Snorlax. If Snorlax comes in, I go into 3 scoops, even if he's able to start, even if he is able to start maybe cursing up, we'll be able to Drain Punch, maintain a lot of different, maintain a lot of our health, I should say, and hopefully put in a lot of work. Guts is there for any Scald Burns from the Pelipper, for any Will-O-Wisp from the Sableye and stuff like that, or even any other potential status that could happen to us. But yeah, that's 3 scoops. Hopefully it does put in the work this week. Next up, we are going to be bringing something a little different. we are bringing a Specs Sylveon. Sylveon is making her return. Nicknamed Emma. I built this team with my buddy Jack, and he suggested the name for me. But Specs honestly puts in the absolute frickin' work, if I have to say so myself. This thing puts in the work. Choice Specs Hyper Beam really, I'm sorry, Hyper Voice. My apologies, Hyper Voice. Really just blasts through a lot of his team besides the Scizor. Like, even Landorus or Clefairy don't want to take two. Do not want to take two Hyper Voices. It two-shots basically everything except for, I want to say, a special defensive invested Snorlax and the Scizor. Yeah, everything else gets two shots. So we have Hyper Voice, Quick Attack, I know, which is weird because we are Modest Nature. The Quick Attack, once again, for any general priority that we could have. Hidden Power Fire, if I'm able to make the read right and that Scizor comes in, a Specs Hidden Power Fire will be absolutely obliterated. And then finally, while this was a very tough set to come up with because all we really needed was Hyper Voice. All we really needed was Hyper Voice. It's like, I was talking with Jack and I'm like, what do we throw on? You know, it's like, what do I throw on? What do I throw on? And finally we just decided for Hyper Beam just for the lulz at the end of the day because that extra damage freaking hits just so hard. It hits absolutely amazingly hard, and so if we are able to fire this thing off, it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, Sylveon's really going to be putting in a lot of work. 252 special attack, Modest Nature, 148 in its speed to, I believe, outspeed, I want to say it was the Mega Blastoise, or maybe it was the Xurkitree. I cannot remember precisely what it was that we sped cut, but I know we sped cut for something. I'll more than likely remember it once I get into the battle. But that's that. We just threw the rest in HP to have its longevity there for longer. But that's our Sylveon set. It's really powerful, super powerful. Hopefully, once again, like all my mons, they put in the work. Up next now, we have Joey Galaxy making his return once again, you guys. I love bringing this thing. Life Orb set, 252 attack, 250 special attack, 252 speed. Timid Nature to speed tie with that with the speed tie with that Landorus Therian form. Volt Absorb, of course. Life Orb just does that extra damage, and it's really going to go gung-ho this week. Joy Galaxy is really going to go gung-ho. We have Thunderbolt, of course, for General Stab. Hidden Power Ice for that Dragonite, for that Landorus Therian. Hopefully, we will be able to win the speed tie. Focus Blast, of course, is going to be there for the Snorlax, just in case, and just hit any other things for fair damage. And then finally, we have Agility. Jack and I debated here whether or not we should bring Nasty Plot or Agility, because while the Nasty Plot would absolutely obliterate all of its team, if there were any Scarfers, or if I lost the speed tie to that Landorus T, it would be very problematic. So we decided to go for Agility. Thunderbolt really does a lot of just damage in general to a lot of things. And so we felt that the Agility Life Orb would definitely help. Being able to be at +2 really allows us to outspeed everything on his team, no matter what. I believe we even outspeed a Choice Scarf Espeon. So that's going to be extremely nice to do there. Kind of standard set. Life Orb, like I said, for the extra damage. So hopefully Joy Galaxy comes through. And we are able to set up an Agility and maybe even sweep, you never know. Next up, we have Gus, our Mega Alakazam, making his return once again. A really standard set, of course, this week. Just being able to help out with just cleanup, like keeping them in the back for a lot of cleanup. We have 204 speed in there with Timid Nature to, I believe that was to outspeed a Scarfed Mon somewhere. Where was it? Was that Scarfed Scizor? I think it was like Scarfed Scizor or Xurkitree that we crept on. I can't remember exactly, but I know we sped crept a Scarfer somewhere. Huh. But yeah, Timid Nature, 204, almost max speed. Rest in HP just because. 252 special attack. Psyshock is there just because a lot of his mons tend to really be more specially defensive. Depending on the Snorlax, we should be able to hit that harder than we would with Psychic, so that was really the deciding factor there. Energy Ball, of course, is going to be there for the Gastrodon, for the Mega Blastoise, hitting it as hard as we can. Even for the Pelipper, I think Pelipper maybe take more damage from the Psyshock, but you never know. Dazzling Gleam, of course, is going to be there for that Dragonite, to hit the Sableye, to hit... yeah, just mainly for those two, and Shadow Ball to round things up, being able to mainly hit that Espeon more so than not, get special defense drops if we need it anywhere. But it's mainly going to be for that Espeon, as I think even if it's like Assault Vest, we could two-shot. So very, very scary. Once again, with going up against Ultra Beast and having Trace on Mega Alakazam, if we were able to trace maybe like a Beast Boost, that'd be really cool, or maybe something else, maybe Multi-Scale from Dragonite. Who knows what else we could potentially trace on Mega Alakazam if we are able to bring it in on the Landorus. With the Intimidate drop would be nice there. Magic Bounce from Espeon, Thick Fat for Snorlax, Water Vortex or whatever it's called, Water Absorb for the Gastrodon. That'd be kind of cool. So a couple fun things that we can trace there, but that's going to be Gus, our Mega Alakazam, coming through, going to be putting in the work. Now, next up, we have returning our Salazar Superior, almost the same set that we brought last week, almost the same set. Speed creeping once again on a couple things. I believe we sped crept on the Landorus as the Espeon outsped us. We decided to go for the Hidden Power Fire this time, just because, while yes, Scizor really does handle us in all ways, if we're able to get up that substitute, we will be able to hit it with the Hidden Power Fire. Leaf Storm, of course, is there. General Stab, get the +2 Contrary boost, which is, I should change that. Contrary. Sped Crept, like I said, and basically almost the same exact set, just a different speed creep there. Tip of Nature. Then we kind of, I think last week was it last week? Yeah, last week against Arthur we had Dragon Pulse. This time we're going to have Dragon Tail, just in case any of his mons want to try and set up on us, whether that be the Snorlax, whether that be the Sableye with Calm Minds, the Xurkitree, the Mega Blastoise. You never know what could happen. Just being able to cycle mons in and out to work with what we need would definitely be able to benefit. Will definitely be beneficial for us. Last but not least, you guys are noticing a theme with this team. This team this week is really hyper offensive. It is super offensive, and I feel like this is what we needed to do this week to really handle Prez's walls. Is just the hyper offense will be there to really throw him off his game and make him really double think of what mons to send in, because if they do, they're going to be knocked out. But like I said, you never know what could happen. I'm very hyper offensive when I usually play. I've been trying to play with more bulk in my play style, so there's that. But last but not least, we're gonna be bringing Scotty, our Weavile, Expert Belt, with Knockoff for General Stab, Icicle Crash for General Stab, Ice Shard once again for priority, and Icicle Crash, of course, being able to outspeed a lot of things, being able to outspeed. With the 244 Jolly Nature, we outspeed a lot of things, including that Scarf, Xurkitree, or Scizor. I can't remember where it was that we decided to speed creep on, but there's that 244 in speed, Jolly Nature, 252 attack, the rest in special defense, just because we have stuff like the Mega Blastoise, the Xurkitree, the Pelipper. While we are frail, yes, we are absolutely frail. You never know, because I'm just saying, Weavile does have base 85 special defense, which is kind of high. It's kind of high, so you never know. And Low Kick. Low Kick is our last move on their 100%, 100 million, billion, trillion, gazillion set for that Snorlax, as I think it does anywhere between 75 to 85% damage on that Snorlax, even if he is fully defensive and boosted, just because Low Kick does work off of weight. So it's absolutely powerful. It's absolutely powerful. Icicle Crashes are nice once again for General Stab, handles the Landorus, the Dragonite, and, you know, hopefully we don't miss one coming up. But flinches are always nice as well. You never know when a flinch could happen. Ice Shard, of course, for General Stab, if we're able to weaken either the Dragonite or the Landorus any bit. All we need to do is come in and click Ice Shard, and we can also bait the Scarf as well for a while, just depending on how we play our cards right. Of course, we're not, which is kind of scary. With no Scarfers, one Specs user, but we do have someone that can set up an agility to really outspeed everything. But that is our team. Like I said, very hyper offensive. I'm super scared about this. Not having, I guess you could say Conkeldur's kind of a wall, but he's really not. He's just bulky. So Very scary that I'm bringing this super offensive set. Hopefully it does work out in our favor. If you guys are excited about this battle, definitely leave a like down below and also leave a comment. Let me know what you would have brought against Steven if you guys want the link to all the LDL pages and stuff and TLTPG. I'll be sure to put that in the link down below. But I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. But my name is Brother 2. I am your coach of the Salt Lake City Swamperts. And I'll see you in the next video.